What's up, everyone? Jason was a Gentile at your service. So let's talk about what happened today at the gym and this coin right here. I have a coin, all right? So I ordered this really cool looking coin. I ordered like 20 of them. It says fruit of the spirit. Galatians is a tree with fruit. On the back, it has the fruits of the spirit, which are some of them: self-control, patience, kindness, goodness, peace, gentleness, faithfulness, and joy. And in the center, love. So I bought these coins because I saw Ray Comfort, who has a YouTube channel called Living Waters. He has some aluminum coins that have the 10 Commandments, and I was like, yeah, that's cool. Maybe I'll get some of those. But I was looking at YouTube and I'm Amazon, and I was like, okay, that's Ray's ministry. What is my ministry? And I was looking for coins to pass out. As God leads me, what I believe, the Spirit leads me. And so the fruits of the Spirit, I am down with the fruits of the Spirit. I really am. And so I'm not sure at this point where I'm like the type who has the skill set to be able to stand in front of 1,000 people and defend the faith, like Charlie Kirk or Frank Turek or the Apostle Paul or Peter, but one thing I know for sure is I can be kind. I know for sure that I can be kind, and I'm working on patience. But so I bought some of these. So I just got them in the mail today, and I was like, okay, I'm going to put a couple in my pocket. I'm going to put 2 in my pocket. And I love being able to flip a coin like this. That's really cool. So I went to the gym. In between sets, I was flipping this coin. And I was thinking, God, who do you want me to give this coin to? And what do you want me to say when I do it? And so the first person that popped into my mind was this lady, Judy. Yesterday, I talked with this lady, Judy, at the gym, who I've talked to before. And to be honest with you, I didn't like Judy. Years ago, I didn't like her because she's kind of stern. She's kind of a stern woman, not extremely friendly. And she doesn't have like sweetness in her voice. Well, as it turns out, Judy was I talked with her yesterday at length about Charlie Kirk and stuff. And I know she's a Christian because we talked about it before, just briefly, just like whatever. And so I walk up to her today and I say, hey, I've got something for you. And she's like, what? She's like, oh, really? I mean, she doesn't really know me that well. I don't really know her that well. Oh, really? And I'm like, yeah, it's this. And she's looking at it and she can't really see what's on. I said, well, I could see that. And I said, well, let me show you. Let me tell you what's on this. And I told her what's on it, the fruits of the Spirit. And I was like, I want you to have this. And, oh, that is so sweet. Thank you. She goes, I was sitting on the couch yesterday and I was trying to think about what was it that you said about the seed or something about a seed. Now, this is a woman that's been a Christian and goes to church and probably has been a Christian. I don't know how long. I'm going to guess 10 years for sure. 10 plus years. And I think she wears a cross necklace, and she's super willing to talk about Jesus, but she's not really trying to, she's just a Christian living in grace, and that's cool. And so, what was that you were saying? And I was like, one Christian plants a seed and the next Christian waters the seed. So like I was telling you, maybe that you remember, but when I gave the $20 gift card to Tammy, the homeless woman, I was hoping that maybe we'd be able to talk about the gospel, but she shut that down. So it was just an act of kindness. That's what the ministry was, and that's what it was. That's what that was, just an act of kindness. And so I told Judy, the woman today at the gym, I was like, one Christian plants a seed, the next Christian waters the seed, and then it hit me. I strengthened another Christian. And so, and she was thinking about something I said. That night she's sitting on the couch thinking about what I said and trying to recall what I said. Is that missionary work? You tell me. Is that missionary work? Is that like worth doing? When you talk with another Christian to encourage another Christian and sharpen another Christian, is that worth doing? I mean, does it have to be this big hoorah at the grocery store where you see a guy who needs groceries and you buy his groceries? Does it always have to be that way? Is it sometimes that way? Yeah. Does it always have to be that, or can it just be occasionally just talking with another Christian and saying something that lifts them up? Or I think the word is there's a word for it. Encourages, but it's to build up. To build up. Iron sharpens iron, and to sharpen another Christian. And so yeah, I didn't even, unbeknownst to me, I mean, I was just talking with her, because when you're with another Christian, you can really get on a roll, and that's like perfectly acceptable. In some cases, but I do know some Christians as well where, I know some Christians where they don't want to talk about the Bible. They don't even want to talk about it, but they're Christians. I find that weird. Because if you're a Christian and you're a follower of Jesus, that is the core of your identity. And that is what should inform your actions. And that's the reason why I got this. So let's talk about this fruit of the Spirit coin, which is so cool. I love this. It's so great. If you want to buy one, it's on Amazon. Now you know what it looks like. And presumably it's made somewhere in China. But it's fun to flip. And it's you don't know what God is going to do in my heart as I carry this. But some of the fruits of the Spirit are love and self-control, patience, faithfulness, joy, peace, gentleness, kindness, goodness. And some days I don't feel like it. Some days I get angry and I give myself over to anger. Some days I'm a little bit rude to people. Some days I'm selfish. Some days I'm not good. Some days I have no patience. Some days I am not kind. Some days I am not joyful. I'm mad and angry, and I'm a negative. Some days gentleness. Some days I am so not gentle. Some days I'm callous. Some days I'm a real prick. And so, then someone might say to you this. They might say, well, you don't have the Holy Spirit in you. No, I have the Holy Spirit in me because I believe in my heart and said it out loud that Jesus is Lord. But there's the act of following. And, following has a lot to do with obedience. And sometimes being joyful is being obedient to the Lord. No, you know what? I need to be joyful about this. That's obedience to the Lord. I don't feel like having patience, but I'm going to have patience because you're asking me to, Jesus, because that's one of the fruits of your Spirit, your Holy Spirit. I don't feel like being kind, Jesus. Well, but I'm going to be kind, Lord, because that's one of the fruits of your Spirit, and I want to carry out your will. I want to follow you, and to follow you is to conform to your image, also known as to attempt to do as you do. And so who knows what God is going to do in my heart with this coin? Because there's some days I don't feel like being loving. And that's why I have this coin, and that's what I say. That's what I think I will say when I give this coin to someone. And maybe it's just going to be give this coin to someone who's a Christian. Like today I gave it to a Christian. And she's going to look at that. And maybe she'll look at that, and then she'll have, I don't know what she's going to say the next time I see her. Maybe she'll have something to say. I don't know if she'll have anything to say, but I'll have an answer. I don't feel like it some days, but that's where the word obedience comes into. That's what we're talking about, following. That's what I'll have an answer. And maybe there'll be a person that I give this to that is not a Christian. And what Ray Comfort does is he shows you the 10 Commandments. He shows you sin, and he appeals to your conscience. And then you realize that you're a sinner. And then you can fully grasp what Jesus did on the cross. And but this is what Christianity looks like when you follow Jesus, and you can't always do it of your own will, right? You This is what it looks like when you're following him. And in order to follow him, you got to get to know who he is. Do you want these things in your life? Do you actually want these things to be in your life? Yes. All right. The thing to do is to crack open the Bible, get to know him, get to know Jesus, see what he does, and then just try to follow him. And what that means is when he teaches, listen to him and be a student. And let him fill your mind with knowledge. And as he does that, Jesus' spirit will inhabit you. And then the days that you don't feel like being kind, just be kind for him. Be kind to someone for him. The days that you don't feel like being loving, be loving for him. And why should you do it for him? Because of what he's done for you. Jesus could have came down off the cross if he wanted to. He was all powerful. He could have came off the cross if he wanted to, but he didn't want to. He gave himself willingly on the cross for you and for me. He stepped in and paid the price for your sin, because there has to be a price that's paid for the sin, according to God. And he paid the price, gave you a get out of jail pass. And then not only does he give you a get out of jail pass, and when you get this pass, that is your ticket to heaven. When you accept the pass, you have to of your own accord, of your own free will, you have free will, you get to do whatever you want. So you have to think to yourself, I want to accept that free pass into heaven, and Jesus is the only way. He made a lot of bold claims. Jesus is the only way. Okay, Jesus, if you say you're the only way, then I'm going to just, in faith, I'm going to, you know what? Okay, here I come. That's pretty much how it was for me. Okay, here I come. Then it's about strengthening your relationship with him. Because if he says he's the only way, but he gave way more than that. He was a teacher. He was a healer. Is a healer. And when you learn about him and you study him, these are the things that begin to show up in your life. Do you want these things? Peace, kindness, love. Do you want to be loving? Do you want to have self-control? And at the crux of this all is, I'm doing these things for you, Jesus. I'm going to be patient for you, Jesus. I'm going to be kind to that homeless person for you, Jesus. I'm going to talk with another Christian and give them a coin, an encouraging coin for you, Jesus. And I don't know what you're going to do with it. And God will put you, here's what I'm learning. Here's the thing. You don't know where it's going to go. How could you know where it's going to go? Because it's God's will. All you know is what you're doing today. Take Judy, for example. She's sitting on the couch and she's thinking about what I said the day before about the seed. I don't know. How am I going to know that that's going to be the one thing she's going to grab onto? I don't know. So the thing about it is, when you're doing things like this and you are trying to show the love of Christ and be kind and have the fruits of the Spirit shine in your life, because you're just doing it for Jesus, you got to take action. You got to be a little brave. You got to have courage. But it takes you on this grand adventure and you have no idea where it leads. That's exciting. That's totally exciting. So I hope this encourages you guys. And I'd love to hear what you think. We'll see you on the next one.